is happening, fellow fantasy GMs? I am JJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dub. And with our powers combined, we are the Fantasy Couriers.
Okay, JJ Wang. Those turkeys,
Took
they're
me a
running.
took me a second to realize what that sound was. I was like, oh, yeah, it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's like, oh, those gobblers in the back. Found some gobbling turkeys. So you got big plans for the big day?
Yeah, I'm getting up in the morning going turkey hunting.
Are you really?
No, I'm not.
Oh, that'd be really cool.
I'm the last person you're going to see hunting.
Yeah, I talked to a guy who you look at him like, dude, you would never hunt. He's like, it's my first weekend hunting ever. I was like, that's pretty cool. He's going up in a deer stand just to sit around. He probably won't see any deer. That's generally what happens, right?
I mean, it's not like there's not opportunity. I mean, everywhere I go, there's deer. Everywhere I go, there's turkey. But just got no desire to go out there sitting cold.
Especially right in front of our cars. That's where deer tend to show up. They like to jump out.
But I will say I may go out and sit in the cold this weekend. Strasbourg and Central is in the regional championship.
For those of you that live in like the United Kingdom, that's our local high schools where his daughter will go in a year.
So I might end up going to that game just to check out, see what happens.
High school football. We're going all the way back to a little. Oh, I just froze. My mom just called me.
It's crazy because I go out there and watch it, right? Of course, it's not complex, but Strasbourg runs the same offense the whole time, they just can't be stopped. It's crazy. I mean, I was like, doesn't look like they're that good, but I guess they are if they can't be stopped, right?
It was Friday Night Lights. My brain just froze. Like, you're going old school Friday Night Lights on an NFL fantasy football show.
Yeah.
But I want to start on a somber note. It was a rough day for JJ Wang and the JJ Wang household. I'm sorry for your loss. We'll be mourning with you as Davis Mills has officially been demoted and Kyle Allen is the starting quarterback. How are you doing? How are you doing?
I'm okay. I mean, it happens sometimes. And sometimes you swing for the fences and you strike out. I mean, this is the way it goes. I mean, of course, you always know there's opportunities that's not going to happen. But if you fall in love with somebody, you fall in love with somebody. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just
the heart wants what the heart wants, doesn't it?
There you go. The heart wants what the heart wants. And I fell. And I got to pick myself up, go find somebody else and start all over again.
Okay, we'll see who they draft with that number 1 pick next year. That'll be discussions coming up in a couple of months. But yeah, we'll see how long the Kyle Allen experiment. We've seen this game before. I don't see much of a change in the team with Kyle Allen versus Davis Mills.
I mean, you might see a little bit of a difference. You might see you might see a little bit. I mean, Davis Mills wasn't playing good at all. He was making some bad choices. Maybe Kyle Allen cuts down on the bad choices and they look a little better, maybe.
Can't look worse. So we are going to start out with we're going to do the first segment of the show is going to be all about Thanksgiving. So as we get in, JJ Wang, what's your favorite Thanksgiving food?
Probably baked mac and cheese, probably.
I'm a mashed potato man. My mom makes the most money mashed potatoes ever, to the point that my buddy from Ireland said they're the best mashed potatoes he's ever had in his entire life.
I mean, I like mashed potatoes. I mean, I'm not going to argue mashed potatoes.
Yeah, there's very little that isn't pretty good. But we're going to spend a little time being thankful here. We're going to go through a couple players that each of us are thankful for and just running through what they've done for us, why we like them, and what's been great about that year. So we'll start with quarterback. What quarterback are you thankful for this year?
I mean, I'm thankful for Justin Fields. I mean, it was looking rough in the beginning. You're like, oh no, but he's been like the number 1 quarterback the last 5 weeks. I know his shoulder's injured now. Not sure what exact update is on that, but I mean, I can't ask for more on what he's produced the last couple of weeks. So thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Update for you is AC joint injury, uncertain for week 12 versus the Jets.
Yeah, but good. It's not a throwing arm, right? It's not a throwing shoulder. He doesn't throw anyway. So.
But every time he gets tackled, man, boom.
Just don't get tackled, man. Just fall down before you get tackled.
I'm sure it's going to be a shocker what quarterback I'm thankful for. It's just called fanboy finally paying off, and it's got to be Tua for me this year. I mean, dude's undefeated as a quarterback. When you play him in fantasy, you are getting points. You can't beat a six touchdown game versus Baltimore, and one, two, three touchdown games. And as long as he doesn't hit his head on the ground, he's been great for fantasy. And I've got him way too many places, and I got him really cheap. So I mean, really, I'm thankful, even if I wasn't a Dolphins fan, because of the cost that I was getting him at, and it's finally paying off.
Yeah, I mean, you can't ask for anything more. I mean, he's finally playing like all the Dolphins fans hoped he would play like. Pretty much everybody
Well,
hoped he would
not
play
most of
like.
them. They hated him like a champ.
I mean,
There's like
yeah, I mean, yeah, no, everybody wanted him to play like that. I mean, that's without a doubt. But he never gave a reason for anybody to think that he was going to play like that until this year. Uh, so yeah, I mean, you got him for cheap, and he's panned out.
and Mike McDaniel's, man. I love that man, and apparently he likes Justin Fields too. Stop running! I'll jump into my running back. My running back, another guy who I was excited about in actually the rookie draft, and I got him on one team and drafted him on a redraft. Is Damian Pierce, rookie running back for your Houston Texans. He other than last week, has had a pretty decent rookie campaign. He had a two over 130-yard games. He's got, only two touchdowns. But as far as what you could hope out of getting for this dude, who was just a dude drafted in the fourth round, people weren't expecting him to come out and steal that. He took that job by the horns from the get-go, and he's been paying off fantasy managers as long as they don't play the Commanders, which luckily this week they play the Dolphins, and we give away a lot of passes to the running backs. I think he'll be okay. Kyle Allen to Damian Pierce this week.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, I mean, he's panned out well for people. I mean, he's looked good. Hopefully, that he can just maintain at least RB2 numbers, at least low RB2 number for the rest of the season. I know it's going to be tough. Maybe Kyle Allen can open things up a little bit. Like I said, I just can't get much worse.
Yeah, I'm thankful because he's actually my RB3 on our bourbon team, on my best team, the team that I have. I have one loss. I'm like, man, my only loss is to like the worst team in the league. How does that happen? Anyway, tell us about. We know if people listen enough, they're gonna know who you're thankful for in running back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thankful for Austin Eckler. I mean, coming into the season, everybody, I don't say most people are like, well, he can't repeat what he did last year because the touchdowns, we're going to regress and this and that. But it's not true. I mean, he's done pretty much the exact same thing that he did last year. He's the RB1 so far for the season. He doesn't get the big rushing yards, but he catches a lot of balls. With Keenan Allen back, it does hurt his numbers a little bit. He was really feasting without him. Like I said, if it's just him and Keenan Allen are the only weapons, I mean, he's still going to produce. He's still going to get all the, all the touchdowns he can handle, and he's been better than what you asked for. I mean, it's nobody expected him to be the RB1, and here we sit. A little over halfway through the season, and he's RB1. So thanks a bunch, man.
Can't argue with that. You've been on the Eckler train for a couple of years too,
Yep.
so you
Been a
are
long time. It's got to eventually run out. But I want to ride till the trains to the track ends, man.
ride or die with Austin Eckler.
Yep, might as well.
Tell us about your wide receiver.
My wide receiver is somebody kind of got laughed at before the season started. He got paid $18 million, and everybody, Christian Kirk is not worth $18 million. But here we go again, sitting at over halfway through the season, and Christian Kirk's a top 12 wide receiver. And it's crazy. Nobody projected him to be this high. I mean, I think this is the one wide receiver that you could truly be thankful for drafting lower. And I'm giving you the return that he has. I mean, has he had some bad games? Sure. But overall, he's top 12, and it's been a pretty big sample size. So thanks to Christian Kirk, I mean, I guess it can only get better if that offense keeps progressing the way it's going.
Yeah, I mean, how many shares of Kirk do you have?
I just got two. I one in Dynasty, and then I got one in redraft.
Wow, I just looked. I am the next to last rated ranker last week. That was pretty.
But hey, you got to start something. You can start at the bottom, work your way up, man. It's tough business.
I'm terrible at this. I like talking about it, but ranking that many guys, my brain just won't do it right now. I'm gonna go with Arthur Juan Brown. I did not know his name until today. Arthur Juan Brown, or Swole Batman, if you want to call him, as he's known here on Pro Football Reference. But to everybody else, that's A.J. Brown. if you've listened to us long enough, you know I am not an AJ Brown fan. Never was a giant AJ Brown. That's because in Tennessee he was either boom or ugh, or hurt. There were basically there's three things, and none of the booms were good, but they just didn't. They weren't consistent enough to carry him on. Now he comes to Philadelphia, reunited with his boy, and really all wide receivers that aren't superstars, as we talked about Justin Jefferson, have a couple duds. He's had a couple duds, but otherwise, dude is killing it this year. 785 yards and 6 touchdowns on 49 receptions. I mean, 49 receptions is usually a year for A.J. Brown. So I'm taking it. I'm taking it to the house, and I am enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I didn't expect AJ Brown to be this high. I thought maybe Devonta Smith would be a little higher, AJ Brown would be a little lower. It didn't really work out. But I mean, I don't want to say they've all been relatively good, but they've all been relatively decent. I mean, Goddard's been, top five tight end. AJ Brown's, top wide receiver, and Devonta Smith has some boomer bust games. But yeah, drafted AJ Brown, you're completely excited for what you've got, even if it's redraft or dynasty for long term. Just like I said, just hope that offense continues doing what it has been and it doesn't kind of like sputter out towards the end of the season. Just hope it maintains that high powered style.
And that Jalen Hurts doesn't run for 7,000 touchdowns. But
Yeah.
jumping into tight ends here, I mean, I got an obvious one that I'm just going to highlight because I've never had him until this late last year, and this year is Travis Kelce. Anyone who has him is always thankful. So it's I mean, basically you're thankful to have him or Andrews. Otherwise, you're just hoping, and I think we're both thankful for Cole Kmet. You put other names in there, but Cole Kmet, at the beginning of the year, we were a lot worried, and then the last little bit here, I mean, he's become like the superstar what we thought he would be with those 2 touchdown games. So the first 8 weeks, you saw maybe Fields was going to get him, and then he seemed to realize, hey, Cole Kmet's my best option right here for a running quarterback. Let's see what Lamar did. Let's make him. So I think the future is bright. And I'm thankful that on my team that is terrible, I have Cole Kmet to use as a foundation for my rebuild that I'm doing.
Yeah, my guy was going to be Dallas Goddard, but like I said, he's hurt. I mean, he's been consistent, but I'm going to rotate over here. But I didn't realize what was happening here in the world of tight ends. I looked at it that the New Orleans Saints currently have 2 top 10 tight ends, and it is very impressive. We've got Juwan Johnson, who's really come on of late, and of course, the great Taysom Hill. I don't think has only had but one good game and is somehow top 10 tight end. I mean, it's amazing. So somehow the Saints got the best tight end group in the house. So yeah, thankful for that group, right?
Who would have seen that coming, man? Yeah,
But yeah, and then I'll switch over to the next one, real quick.
Put it in there for you. Just
yeah,
for you.
I know you did. As soon as you put it in, I want to give a shout out to Tyler Bass. I was wrong last week when I said he had 25 points. I was incorrect. He actually had 29 points. So that's one of the most points I've ever seen a kicker have. But like I said, I mean, it's been one of the high points of my year so far. You love it when something like that happens. Kind of like when a defense goes off for 30. Like it doesn't ever really happen. So you got to enjoy it while I came in. Thanks, dude.
You got it.
Game by game preview.
So we're going to do it in 2 segments. We're going to start on Thanksgiving, take a little break from our friends Underdog, and then get through the Sunday slate. Just do a little this or that from the Thanksgiving games on in. We're recording this on Wednesday, so if you're listening to it on Friday, sorry, you can skip the next 5 minutes or so. You can tell us how wrong we were at this point. But we have the Bills versus the Lions, which you know the luck of the league. This is going to be a good game, but it's Thanksgiving, so it's generally a terrible game. And both these teams have receivers that could give us some numbers, but they have running backs that are curious on these teams. I want to focus on the running backs. We're looking at James Cook, Devin Singletary, your boy Swift, and Jamal Williams. He's like a non-thankful day guy.
Oh, God.
Rank those 4 running backs, and are there any that you would really like to start this week?
Oh, I mean, I'm starting Jamal Williams, man. I mean, you got to. He's getting doesn't get a lot of yards, but I mean, he gets the touchdowns. I mean, at some point you gotta say it's not luck. I mean, it's literally feel like he gets 2 touchdowns every week. It's insane, and the offense is playing really well right now. I think they've won 3 in a row. Golf is looking more like the golf from the beginning of the season. Swift still gets a touchdown here and there, but yeah, I'd probably go with Jamal Williams is the only one that I would want to start. Of course,
Would you
I'm
start
going to.
Singletary?
What's that?
Would you start Singletary with him playing decent right now?
I really don't want to start Singletary at the moment because Cook's been getting more and more involved over the last couple of weeks. So I guess you're just banking on either Cooks or Singletary getting a touchdown at this point. I feel like they're both going to get the same amount of yards. Just maybe which one scores a touchdown. Singletary is more of the goal line back at the moment. So I guess you would go Singletary.
And it's fun. 12 touchdowns, Jamal Williams leading the league.
Telling
Giants
it, man.
versus the Cowboys. Ugh. The Cowboys are going to roll them like they rolled the Vikings more than likely. Which would you start Saquon, Pollard, and Zeke? Keep them with the running back theme because the Giants have no receivers. The Cowboys have a really good one, and the Titans, Cowboys, and But Zeke, which one of those three would you start all three if you have them somewhere, or is there any of them you might not?
I think I feel kind of sketchy to start Zeke. I'm just not confident in what he's producing. I feel like I can find somebody else that's going to get more than 5-6 points. So like that's always worth it this time. Pollard's getting all the important touches, and then Barkley. You got to start Barkley's still going to get his unit. He could break one off at any moment, receiving or rushing, and he's still going to get the touchdown. So I'm confident in those two. Not so much with Zeke.
I mean, I'm saying I would start all three if I got him anywhere. Temper expectations for Barkley this week because the Cowboys defense, as you mentioned on Monday, is really, really good.
Oh, it is good, but this could be one of those games where the Commanders beat the Eagles, right? I mean, no one's seen that coming either, but I mean, it's possible.
And the Giants aren't as good as the Commanders. Come on.
I mean, maybe not, but Dak is due for a 3-point game. I mean, it's coming. Just got to prepare yourself.
A night game is the Patriots versus the Vikings. Vikings come limping in. Patriots somehow, as always, are good. In this game, I'm staying on running back themes. You have two running backs, really. Like Harris is going to he's probably a flex option, but you got Ramondre and Dow Cook. Which one of those two running backs would you, if you could only play one based upon your team being really good, which one of those would you feel most confident starting?
I mean, it's got to be Dalvin Cook. Ramondre is going to get his work taken from Harris. I mean, Harris has still looked good. I mean, he averages way more. Not way more, but he averaged more yards last week than, I think, Ramondre. I think Harris is the better runner than Ramondre, but Ramondre is like that third down back, so he's going to do a little bit of both. And that Dalvin Cook still has the full workload, so I'm still more confident in Dalvin Cook as far as the split backfield in New England.
And Ramondre did poop the bed last 2 weeks, so he
that's
receiving.
Jamie Harris come back the last 2 weeks, and he's been taking half the runs.
I mean, he's still getting the passes. 6 of 6 or 56 is still pretty money for him to get.
Yeah, but like I said, when Harris was out, Ramondre was getting 20 carries a game, right?
Just close the window.
I feel like he was getting all the carries.
14, borderline 16, 17. Yeah. But yeah, hey, quick note for everybody before we take a break here. Thursday games, make sure to put those guys into not your flex spots. Put those into your running backs, receivers, quarterbacks, all those. Don't put them into your flex spots. And now a message from our favorite sponsor.
Underdog Fantasy is the best and easiest place to play fantasy sports. Now that we are in season, they offer even more fantasy sports options. You can choose to play 4 to 6 round draft contests with up to 10 people. You can even create your own private draft room.
And that's not all. Underdog also offers pick'em fantasy contests where you decide if players will go higher or lower than a listed stat line, from touchdowns to yards to interceptions and many more. It's a fun way to show your fantasy prowess. Sign up now with the code Couriers, and they'll double your first deposit up to $100 in bonus cash.
And just in case you missed that, when you make your first deposit of $10 or more, deposit $100, get $100 free.
And with their slick mobile app and user-friendly website, you'll have no problem jumping in and drafting your squad or making your best picks.
So join Underdog today, and don't forget to use the code Couriers. A link is in the notes of the podcast.
Now back to the podcast. Yes, there will be football on Sunday, and the great news this week is that there are no bye weeks. So we're going to speed through here so you can, as you're listening to this on the way to Thanksgiving dinner, go eat some turkey, or as you're listening to it afterwards, veg out and fall asleep, not because of us. Broncos versus the Panthers. You
Oh my
have
God.
some terrible quarterback play. Is Darnold starting this week, or is Baker?
The question is, are you starting Darnold over Russell Wilson?
That was my question.
I mean,
Is it that bad? Would you roll the dice? You can't, can you?
I don't think you can, but I think Russell Wilson has soured enough people that, you know what? You're like, Russell Wilson, I hate you, and I don't want to start you anymore because you are so bad that, you know what? I'm starting Sam Darnold, at least because I know there's, oh my God, it's so bad.
I don't think it could happen though, because the Broncos defense is not terrible, and I think that's going to be
That's
the
true.
saving grace for them.
That's
I mean,
true.
even though Sam Darnold's going to try to throw for 7,000 yards like you've expected for years, and
This
you
is
and Scott
dreadful.
talk about
What
it
a
all the time.
situation.
Buccaneers versus the Browns, a battle of. Well, the Browns are. They should just let Watson set the rest of the year. Let's just be honest here. We're looking at some stud wide receivers here going into this that are up and down all over the place. We're looking at the two Evans and Godwin from the Buccaneers, Cooper, and apparently right now Donovan Peoples-Jones is putting up numbers. Are you confident starting all four in this game? Because the Browns give up a lot of running yards. So will the Buccaneers go to that?
I mean, it might sound crazy, but I think I'd rather start Amari Cooper and Peoples Jones kind of almost over Mike Evans and Chris Godwin at this point. Sounds crazy to say, but they've just not been very good. I know Godwin played okay last week. I don't know. Has Mike Evans scored a point all season? I mean, it's kind of crazy. It's like he's just not there. And I mean, Buccaneers are playing okay. But like I said, they're just not. It's just their volume isn't there. I'd rather start the other two than the Buccaneers receivers right now.
Evans has quietly had 671 yards. I mean, he's got the same stats as AJ Brown with 3 less touchdowns. So it's not terrible. But
that's crazy. I just don't remember seeing it.
They're just so bad that it just seems like it's not there.
I guess.
Now here's funny. I love my quarterbacks this week. They both have great matchups. The Ravens play the Jaguars this week, so you've got ETN.
Did Darrell Henderson just sign with the Jaguars? Is that what I see?
Breaking news: Darrell Henderson, right as we recorded, signed with the Jaguars.
What is going on in LA, man? This is insane.
I don't know. It's really weird. And as you said that, it made me remember that I got to do this really fast because I forgot listener questions. So Ravens versus the Jaguars is just one question because everything else is pretty cut and dry. DeMarcus Robinson, are you playing him now?
No.
Okay. I mean, he's been looked at a lot recently.
I mean, I'm sure he has. I mean, like I said, if you need somebody in there, be like, hey, I need somebody that maybe blow up. I need a body, sure. But I mean, God, I mean, I hope I don't have to start DeMarcus Robinson.
Texans versus the Dolphins. My quarterbacks are Lamar Jackson and Tua this week, so I am super excited. There's 3 running backs in this game, 2 of them that look really good on paper, and you probably have them as your 3rd or 4th running back. So you got Jeff Wilson and Dameon Pierce are probably like your running back 3 based upon draft status. You can only start one of those because your other 2 running backs are great. Which one of those 2 guys would you start?
I think I'll start Jeff Wilson. I think the upside's there. The offense is better. He seems to be the favorite running back. So until proven otherwise, I'm more confident in the Dolphins offense than the Texans offense. Surprise, surprise. Breaking news.
I haven't had a year to cheer for years. It's been great. Bears versus the Jets. Speaking of terrible players that aren't playing this week, Zach Wilson is not playing. Oh, it's going to be a battle of backup quarterbacks, by the way, as well. I should have pulled up who is Justin Fields' backup.
Was he not? Justin Fields not playing?
They're saying unlikely. So that would put in. Oh, is it?
So do you realize if he doesn't play, I have 0 quarterbacks to start in Bourbon Bowl?
Well, good for you. Welcome to karma. It looks like Trevor Siemian.
If
Is the
Justin
backup
Fields doesn't start the rest of the season, I don't have a quarterback to start the rest of the season in Bourbon.
That's even better. Good thing you're in rebuild mode again. So Trevor Simeon or is it Kyle? Is White starting for the Jets? I believe.
Oh
I
man,
think
that's
I think
what
it
you
is.
gotta repeat. I just realized what kind of situation I'm in.
Your brain. um,
Re-say that.
so we're looking at is it's Mike White, I believe, is starting for the
Oh
Jets.
yeah.
And Trevor Simeon for the Bears.
Oh
Say your
my
JJ Wang's terrible team, and you need
god.
to. You're playing the waiver wire. You got to get on waiver, and I do. By the way, Bourbon Bowl, don't listen to this. Which one of those guys are you picking up? Mike White or Trevor Simeon to be a warm body quarterback?
I'll probably go with Simeon. Probably. No, you know what? I might go Mike White because if Fields does come back, at least it gives me another quarterback to play.
Ooh, good call. Bengals are playing the Titans.
God, I'm in a dreadful situation.
Dude, you beat me because I had 0 quarterbacks and your team and Tyler Bass. Bengals versus the Titans. Joe Mixon versus Derrick Henry. And Jamar Chase might come back, by the way. That's going to be great. Joe Mixon, does he get over 30 yards in this game?
I think Joe Mixon, if he plays, I think
it's
he
a
gets over.
concussion protocol passes.
Yeah, I mean, I think he gets over 30 yards.
Because Titans are a stellar defense.
They are good. You're right, but I feel like the volume will be enough there to get over 30 yards.
Okay. The Falcons versus the Commanders. Is this a trap game for Mariota because the Commanders have such a good defense? So once again, trash quarterbacks. Which one would you start? Heineke or Mariota?
This is the worst quarterback situation ever in history.
No, we had Mike White versus Trevor Simeon.
I'm saying overall for the week. I mean, it is dreadful. I think I'll go Mariota just because of the rushing upside. I think Heineke is not good. Hey, but the kid's got heart.
Everybody keep an eye on Drake London too without Pitts getting his 2 points a week. Chargers versus the Cardinals. Kyler's going to be back. Is D-Hop, maybe Hollywood, I haven't heard anything updates on him. He might be back. Or the 3 Chargers receivers. Rank them assuming Hollywood plays and Rondell Moore plays.
I still think DeAndre Hopkins is going to be the guy that gets 10 catches. I mean, then
Who's Charger receiver?
I'd probably go Marquise Brown second just because he'd probably get a bomb touchdown, and then I'd go like maybe Keenan Allen. So I think Marquise Brown can easily hit that over the top touchdown bomb, and both of them can still I think the one that gets hurt here is probably Rondell Moore. He doesn't get as many targets, but I think the trio of Arizona is better than what's going on in in LA, but I don't know what the hell Kyler's doing, man.
The Raiders versus the Seahawks. Battle of good running backs and a terrible team that we thought would be good versus a good team that we thought would be bad. Man, I got to figure out which way I want to go with this. I had an idea, then I thought about it. Let's update on running back theme today. Josh Jacobs or Kenneth Walker. Ken Walker the third.
I'll go Ken Walker. I think his upside's a little better. I mean, Josh Jacobs had that boom in the beginning, that nice 3 or 4 game stretch, and he's come back to earth a little bit. Still trusting Seattle a little more than the Raiders. I think they'll get back. They're more. They force the run game. Seattle forces the run game a little more than the Raiders do. I feel like so. I'll stick with Walker.
Rams versus the Chiefs. Ooh. Let's go with Patrick Mahomes over 4 touchdowns.
Maybe, but what about Bryce Perkins? Isn't he starting for the Rams? Right?
I haven't seen the updates. He should have been ranking, so we'll see how the week goes out. And is
pretty sure he is starting.
Is Cam Akers rosterable now? Do you got to roster Cam Akers, or you got to keep an eye on Cam Akers? Or
you got to keep an eye on him. I mean, he did get 61 yards, but that offense is so bad. Cup ain't playing. The quarterback, man, that could get ugly fast.
Saints at the 49ers. Which tight ends you starting, Juwan Johnson or George Kittle? Okay, that's all I got.
I'm not going to lie. That's actually a tough question because
Kittle looked good. Kittle looked good this week, though.
What if Kittle turns out to be needs to stay in and block this game? Might just stay in and not blocking the whole time. At least Juwan Johnson's going to be out there like running routes because he's not the guy that's being stuck on the line being a blocker. I mean he's out there running routes. Kittle could be like, you know what, guys, I don't want to catch the ball. I really feel like blocking this game because look, just face it. I am such a good blocker. Just keep me in, help with the run game. We'll be straight. I feel like that's what happens with Kittle sometimes, man.
The Packers and the Eagles. Christian Watson, A.J. Brown, or Devonta Smith. You can only start one.
I would still go AJ Brown. He's been more consistent. But then I'd go Christian Watson, probably second. Ride the hot streak.
I mean, we got Lazard got 11 targets, so that's kind of insane. If he could catch the ball, dude, he would have had a heck of a stat line last week. Steelers and Colts Monday night game. We're looking at some running backs that are underachieving. Are Najee Harris and Jonathan Taylor both on the upswing for the rest of the season, you think?
I think Jonathan Taylor evens out a little more. I don't know if he gets back to the RB1. I think he evens out to like the mid low RB1 type. And then Harris, I don't know what's going on there. Maybe the offense finds a little something, and he gets at least being a high end RB2 at this point. That's what you can at least hope for.
Okay, we're going to do 6 speed questions for our fans because I forgot about them. Sorry, guys, for putting this at the end. Brett wants to know, do I trade Cordero Patterson for Jeff Wilson in a straight up full PPR?
Sure. I mean, I'd rather have Jeff Wilson than Cordero Patterson. Sure.
Tyler wants to know, Slayton with Wandell out, Lazard or Paris Campbell? Half PPR. He needs one.
Slayton. I'd probably go Slayton because he will be the wide receiver one.
Although, ironically, he just said, or Chase if he plays. Chase is the obvious answer. But,
but
obviously, Chase is the answer if he plays. So these
Chase plays,
also,
yeah.
Always be prepared. The problem is, though, I would probably say Lazard because he's got to decide Slayton tomorrow. So I would go Lazard in case Chase plays, and that's what he's got to do. Like I would say Slayton as well, but I would go Lazard in this situation because I'd rather have Chase.
That's a good point. That's a good thing, something to consider there, yeah.
Justin says pick one, Olave, St. Brown, or Gabe Davis, PPR.
I feel like it's going to be between Olave and St. Brown. I think I'm going to go St. Brown. I think I'm going to go St. Brown. He's playing, picking up a little bit. Olave is really good too, though. I'll go St. Brown.
I'm going St. Brown so you can watch him while eating turkey. That was my simple reason. Like they're both so pushy. For these two guys, it's pick the guy you want to watch. But you can do that with Gabe Davis, but I think the other two are better.
Gabe Davis. I think Gabe Davis will get you 30 points quicker than those other two guys will.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you needed a home run, I think Gabe Davis would probably be the way to go.
I think you can't go wrong with any three because these guys really are probably like what 14, 15, 16. They're so close that it's split.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's upsetting that you can't start Olave and St. Brown.
And Gabe Davis.
Gabe Davis.
Trevor wants to know, Steelers defense over the Eagles and Pats? No.
I'd probably go Pats defense, right?
I'm always starting the Pats defense because they are my brain just fries. That's why I had to go pull up the Pats.
I feel like they had a good matchup.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah, they're playing the Vikings, and the Vikings are going to either score a lot of points or score 0 points.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins on a primetime game. That's not happening.
Pats
all day.
And Trevor wants to know flex 0.5 PPR. Brandon Cooks, Zeke, Swift, Rashad White, or Sutton.
I'm gonna go Rashad White. I feel like they said they're going to ride the hot hand, and I think as long as he's playing, decent, I think that's the way to go. Can't really rely on Swift at this moment.
I'm still lazy. I go to Zeke for the touchdowns. Safer bet because I'm guessing this is a flex.
When's the last time he scored a touchdown?
Didn't he score last week? Did he? I believe
so. Oh, did he?
Yeah, I believe so. Anthony wants to know, Stevenson, St. Brown, or Barkley? You can only start one.
What kind of team is this, man?
It's a two-man league.
You got to start Barkley. I mean, he's still like the workload RB. St. Brown, is real good, but I think Barkley's still the start. Lucky team, man. Good issues.
Yeah, you really hate your Cowboys. Zeke had 2 touchdowns last week, 2 touchdowns the week before, and 1 touchdown the week before that. So he scored a lot of touchdowns.
Really?
Yeah. You're such a hatred of Champ. And I want to say,
go back. Whatever I said, go back to start Zeke if he scored that many. I didn't realize he was scoring that many touchdowns.
I want to save our boy Forrest for last because he just wanted to start out by saying Happy Thanksgiving to both of us. Hey, Happy Thanksgiving to you, Forrest. Now, down to business. He has Gabe Davis and Josh Palmer starting at receiver, Slayton and flex. Does he pull Slayton in hopes of mixing sets so he can flex in P. Ryan? Or if not, he has Thielen or Jahan Dotson. I'd leave
I was
Slayton.
sitting here trying to figure out what I would do here, but I feel like this. I
Oh, I
think
know
the
that.
safest way to go is Slayton because at least you know he's going to play. I mean, if Mixon plays, they can't. P Ryan. I mean, is that's a tough to wait. That's a
Play
tough
Slayton.
decision.
I got it. I got Forrest. I got him. I got it. Forrest, put Slayton and Gabe Davis as your starting receivers. Put Palmer as your flex. Because Palmer, if all three of those receivers are good, Palmer's got more ups and downs that you're going to play P. Ryan over Palmer if he's the starting running back, correct? And it's better to get a Slayton done to Palmer. Slayton and Palmer to me are so close it could be nothing because the Cowboys defense is really good. So, I mean, if the option is, because if not, you're going to have to figure out Thielen or Dotson. So I would put Slayton in your receiver and see what happens, and you might have to change anything.
I mean, if that works out, yeah, not you kind of lost me there, but I mean,
So his
yeah, I
starting
mean,
receiver,
if you say it works, I mean, yeah, I'm all aboard on that one. That's a good idea.
I say just play with what you got. Yeah, give us some wisdom while the turkeys gobble us out.
Oh yeah, so I just wanted to say that my Super Bowl pick is finally may turn out, to where it may work out with the 49ers finally playing well. So we're still looking at Buffalo and the 49ers in the Super Bowl. So let's keep an eye open for that. Hey, and everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. So as always, trust yourself and trust the process.